think they're delaying it a time. Oh, another 15 minutes because they got here late. Hey. Hello everybody and welcome to Westerly High School for tonight's female Bulldog matchup, volleyball matchup, first home game of the season. Will be the Bulldogs versus Classical. Game's been delayed a small amount of time due to late arrival, but is about ready to get started here in another 2 minutes. It's nice to see sports back in the gymnasium. Immediate family welcome. All the players are in masks as well as fans. But it's great to see sports active again here. And that's the buzzer as both teams will take their sides and the starters will hit the floor. This is the JV matchup for the female Bulldogs. This is JV Classical, followed immediately by Varsity Bulldogs. Both teams getting their final instructions from their coaches. And the official about to take a spot. And we're about to get started here. Again, this is a JV matchup, so it's the youngest of both squads. Scoring format for these games, it's a best of 5 matchup, 25 points. There is a point on every serve. The server is not the only team who can score. Either team can score. Again, it's a best of 5 matchup, it's 25 points. Classical is on the floor, and Westerly will be set to approach. Five players on the floor for each team. Correction, 6 players on the floor for each team. 3 in the front, 3 in the rear. And we're about to get started, 30 seconds away, folks. And the Dogs take the court. This is the first home action this gym has seen in about a year now. So again, we're very excited to bring it to you. And the Bulldogs are setting up. It will be Classical serve to start. Number 19 for Classical, waiting for the final go-ahead. Bulldogs getting their final instruction, setting up for the day. Unorthodox defense, a serve. Hits the net and falls for a point. Classical up 1-0. Kind of fell into no man's land there as they hit the net on its way down. And number 19 with the serve, over, bump, set, and set up for the over, and it's over the net, returned by the Bulldogs. Bump save, and a dump over to the back line. Bump, we have a dump over, 14, 3 sets it up, and it's out of bounds, ties the ball game 1-1. It will be Bulldogs serve, the score 1-1. And the serve overhand, and that's going to fall far right, and that's going to be a point and a change of serve, 2-1 Classical. Classical will regain the serve, number 3, retrieving the ball. Correction, this is Central. Number 3, the serve falls harmlessly out of bounds for the Westerly point, score 2-2. And the Bulldogs making final adjustments, pre-serve, set to go, are communicating with the referees, the official, something. And there's going to be a substitution. And we're ready to go. And the Bulldogs are disguising their offense with late motion, and the serve's going to fall short for a Central point, giving the visiting Central 3 and the Bulldogs 2. Number 24 to serve for Central. Central employing the bump serve as Westerly goes with the overhand, it appears. Here's the net, we have a bump. And a bump deep enough to dump it over the net, and it falls short for a Central point, making the score 4-2. Number 24 set to serve again. Westerly guarding the far side of the net. And the serve will not make it. That'll be a Bulldog point, making the score 4-3. And Bulldogs get the serve. Number 15 for the Bulldogs. Getting ready with the overhand serve, and it is on the line, and it is good for a Bulldogs ace, tying the score 4-4. Number 15 will retain the serve with a tie score. We have a substitution for the Bulldogs. And we're waiting for the return of the ball. And we put a new ball into play here. Again, the score 4-4. Number 15 for the Bulldogs serving. Overhand serve, nice serve. With the bump, it's going to have to go over. It gets over. Good return by Central. Set for the Bulldogs. No communication in the middle, and it falls harmlessly for a Central point. The score Central 5, Bulldogs 4, and number 18 to serve. The underhand serve style, deep into the zone with a bump, and a dump over the back, and a nice shot by the Bulldogs, number 26, puts it out of reach of Central, tying the game 5-5. And again, the Bulldogs will take the serve. And it will be number 5 on the serve for the Bulldogs, who looks like he's going to employ a running jump serve of some sort. And that's a beautiful serve, out of reach and inbounds for an ace. That's a tough one to return for anybody as the Bulldogs take their first lead of the evening, 6-5. That was a powerful serve by number 5 for the Bulldogs, who will get the ball and go back at it again. As Central's backed up their defensive line a bit. Serve, high, deep, and just out. And that will tie the score 6-6. As Central gets ready to serve. Number 7 for Central serving for the first time today. And the whistle. And the underhand serve. Middle of the gym. We have a bump. Set. And a dump over for, he touched the net, and that's going to be a Central point, 7-6. On the return, the offensive player cannot hit the net in any way with their body or hand. Number 7 with the serve, underhand. Easy to handle. Bump deep, they have to dump it over, and they are unable to do so, making the score 8-6. Westerly having a hard time handling the serve. Number 7 for 3 in a row. Central 8, Westerly 6. The whistle, the underhand Central serve. Middle spot again, good bump, good set. And a dump over. Central recovers, dumps back over, opens just out of bounds, and Westerly will get the point, and the serve score 8-7, Central advantage. Westerly meeting in the middle for a little quick team huddle here. Giving each other some final instructions as number 2 gets set to serve. Pending substitution. And we do have a substitution. The Westerly serve. Overhand, just short off the net. Makes the score 9 Central, 7 Bulldogs. Tough to walk off the bench right into a serve. Number 8 serving. And we have a lefty with the underhand serve, and that's not going to make it over. It's going to be a 9-8 score. And Westerly will take the serve. And it will be number 7 for the Bulldogs. And the overhand serve is short of the net. That's going to be a point. 10 Central, 8 Westerly. Both teams having a little bit of difficulty with the serve at the moment. And off the net for the Bulldogs makes the score Central 11, Westerly 8. Number 19 gets set to serve again. Westerly running a diamond-shaped defense here. And the serve doesn't make it. Another service error, and the score Central 11, Bulldogs 9. Bulldogs will take the serve. And Central running a 1-3-2 defensive look. The serve, this one's gonna play. Mishandled, both gonna have to get it over and unable to handle it. And the Bulldogs get a service point, making the score Central 11, Westerly 10. Westerly retains the serve. Number 3, looking to tie things up for the Bulldogs. And the overhand serve is going to fall into play. And an erratic bump, but we have a chance to recover. And it's not going to stay in place, essentially. That's going to tie the score 11-11. And the team's starting to get a little excited here as they warm up. And the overhand serve is towards the deep end, and it's mishandled. And that's going to be an ace for the Bulldogs. And they take a lead 12, Central 11. As the ball is retrieved. Looking for a third straight service point. And we're ready to go. And that serve is miscommunication completely on the Central side of things. Nobody moved, and that resulted in another ace for the Bulldogs and a 13-11 lead. That ball fell harmlessly in between everybody. And we're looking for 4 here in a row for the Bulldogs. The serve, another tough one to handle. The bump is going to go out of play, and another point for the Bulldogs. 14 for the Bulldogs, 11 for Central. And we're looking for 5 in a row here for the Bulldogs. And more or less, she's just putting it in the middle of play, forcing some offense out of Central. A different style serve. It's bumped towards the net, set to no man's land, and another point for the Bulldogs, making it 15-11 Bulldogs. And that is 5 straight points. Looking for number 6. The serve, again, in play. Set, and over. The Bulldogs with the save. Nice save by the Bulldogs, out of bounds by Central. And another point, 16-11, Bulldog advantage. And that is 6 straight service points for the Bulldogs. And the serve overhand, deep into the zone. We have 2 bumps, and it's out of bounds. Another point for the Bulldogs. 17 for Westerly, 11 for Central. That is 7 straight Bulldog points. Sets for the serve, again in play. That's the key. Everyone in play, this one mishandled. Another ace, 18 for the Dogs, 11 for Central. Pretty much she's keeping it in play every serve and forcing the opposition, and that has been to their advantage thus far. And the serve again, that one's tough to handle as well, and that's in play. And it's going to fall for another Bulldog point, 19-11. She's employing several different high arc serves, forward spin serves, middle of the court serves. They all seem to be working at the moment. Key being all in play, as well as this one. Another ace, making the score 20-11. Bulldogs, 10 straight service points. The score was 11 Central, 10 Bulldogs when she took the serve. Again in play, another ace for the Bulldogs, 22-11 the score. Momentum is definitely in their favor at this point. And number 3, looking for another. And mishandled, and it's going to be an ace. Score is 22-11. That is 12 straight service points for number 3. And she's set for another. In play again, to the front line, mishandled, unable to go. That's another ace, 23-11, as the Bulldogs are now excited. 23-11 here, folks. And another serve, inbounds, the key, the other one's bumped. Another bump deep. They're going to have to get it over and unable to do so. 24-11. This is point for the Bulldogs. Score was 11-10 when the ball got put into number 3's hands for serves. It's now 24-11. And another serve inbounds. Not handled well into the net. And the ruling, it's a Westerly point. And that is 25. And that is going to be the end of the first match with the Bulldogs winning 25, Central 11. It was a tight matchup going through. It was 11-10 Central, believe it or not, with the final being 25-11 as number 3 took control of the offense and served her team all the way to victory from there. That was 15 straight service points by number 3. That's a rarity. It's an extremely good job. And the coaches are getting their final instructions between games. And we're going to go off to a quick commercial break. Welcome back, everybody, as we are under a minute away from match number 2 of this Bulldog versus Central JV female volleyball match here in Westerly's Federico Gymnasium. And it's a matter of handling the serve right now that Central's going to have to try to figure out. Number 3 kept it in play. That was the key. Every serve in play, forcing the opposition. And that is, my friends, how you score points. Team can't help when the service doesn't stay in bounds. Getting a last second drink from both teams. And Central's gotten their final instructions. And we're about to get started. The horn's going to go in about 5 seconds here. So out of the best of 5 matchups, the Bulldogs won matchup number 1 by a score of 25-11 on a stellar serving performance by number 3. And that's the horn as we get set for matchup number 2 of the evening. I do believe the serve will go back to the Bulldogs as Central served first. And the Bulldogs get together. And they're ready to go. Central's taking the court with their running a 3-3 right now. Westerly's disguised a little bit of their offense with late motions with the ball in the air, which is impressive at a JV level to be already employing those things such early in the season. All right, now we're going to see who's serving for the Bulldogs. And number 3 maintains the serve. And the horn and the serve. We've seen this overhand serve and in play with a bump. Central set, and Central returns it. Nice save and nice dip, and it's a Westerly point. That's good all-around play by the Westerly team with a good dig save. Set and score. 1-0 for the Bulldogs. And the serve. Deep into the zone. Tough time with the bump. Got to get it over and is able to. And the Bulldogs dump it right back for another point. 2 for the Bulldogs and 0 for Central. Momentum staying in their favor. And number 3 staying with the serve. And a beauty, that's a laser. That's hard to handle for anybody. And that's going to go in as ace for the Bulldogs. 3-0. Extremely superb service skills right now being displayed by number 3. And the serve, inbounds. And in a tough spot for Central, and it falls short, and it's another service point. 4-0 for the Bulldogs. And number 3 ready to go again. And another beauty, hard to handle. Looks like another point for the Bulldogs. That's a 5-0 start with number 3 at the serve, and officially her 20th straight service point, dating back to last game. Moving forward here, again, 5 Bulldogs, Central 0. They're gonna have to solve number 3 here. And another nice serve, left alone, and he goes far right. And Central will get the serve back finally to score. Bulldogs 5, Central 1. We have 6 players up at the net. Number 3 serving for Central. First overhand server for Central. And it's bumped, it's set, and it is dipped over by the Bulldogs. And Central can't handle it. The Bulldogs get their 6 point. 6-1 Bulldogs, and will gain the serve. And the serve for the Bulldogs, who seem to employ the overhand service strategy, which is far more difficult to defend. And we have a lefty, and it falls just short. The score, 6 for the Westerly, 4 for Central. Central's number 24 will take the serve. Constant instruction from the coaches. Underhand serve. And it just makes it over. Difficult shot off the face, and that's going to fall in for a Central point. The score, 6 for Westerly, 3 for Central. And number 24 to serve again. The bump serve. It's got height, sets up the bump. You have to get it over, and it is going to make it. Forcing a return. Number 7 puts it over. And Wesley with the set. And it falls short into the net. The score is 6-4. Bulldogs with a 2-point lead. And number 24 with a couple points in a row here. Looking for 3. Doesn't take a lot to shift momentum. And the serve. Bump style. Nice serve. Line drive. Very hard to handle, but dug out from Westerly by Wesley's number 3. Giving Wesley not only the 7th point, but the serve. The score, Bulldogs 7, Central 4. And Westerly's serve. Nice serve by Westerly. That's an ace. The score 8-4, Westerly. Number 15 with a laser overhand serve, unable to be handled by Central. Westerly displaying an early edge in serving. And that's going to be deep and having a hard time handling it. Going to have to get it over the net and do. Nice save. Good bump by Wesley. Good bump set and over. And we have a return by Central. That was a nice defensive play by Central as they start to get a little excited. The score 8-5 Bulldogs. That was a good volley there. And number 18 with the serve for Central, trailing by only 3. The serve, that looks like it's right on the line. Nice serve. Unable to be handled. That's going to be an ace for Central. The score 8-6. Would have been near the line. A little indecision. And the bump serve. And it's set on the other side. Number 7 with the return. And Wesley handles it off the net and can't quite recover. And we have a 1-point game here, folks. Bulldogs 8, Central 7. And Central's number 18 will retain the serve. And the whistle, the serve. In play, middle of the court. And miscommunication, and it is bumped out of bounds. And that is going to tie the ball game, folks. 8 for the Bulldogs, 8 for Central. Central number 18 with the serve. And the serve is not going to make it over the net, and that's going to make it a 9-8 game, and Westerly regains the serve. And Westerly's overhand serve, that's going to fall short of the net, tie the game, and return the serve. Central serve, the score 9-9, number 8 for Central. He's going to take the serve over. or number 7, correction. Westerly running semblance of a 3-2-1 defense. And the serve, middle of play. Pumped by Westerly, set up, gonna have to get it over, and do. And that's a double hit by number 19 and a point by Westerly. Westerly takes a 1-point lead, 10-9, and gets the serve back. Number 2 serving for Westerly. And that's a nice serve into no man's land for an ace and a 2-point Bulldog lead. Most of Wesley's points have been on service points this evening, a clear majority. And the overhand serve, knuckles its way, doesn't quite get over, and that's going to make it 11-10. And we have number 9 with the serve for Central. And a left-handed server. And it's high near the net. That's a good serve. Wesley bumps it back over and inbounds with a return right on the line. Wesley's point 12-10, and we'll take over serve. And number 24 serving for Westerly as the offense gets set up. Substitution, and we're ready to go. Serve, it's high, it's deep, and it's inbounds. The set for Central, gonna have to get it over, and do. We have a bump for Westerly, a bump set, and a return. We have a good volley here, bump deep in the zone, gonna have a save. 7 saves it back to 3, gonna have to get it over, unable to do so. That's a good volley on both squads, point for Westerly, 13-10 Bulldogs. And number 24 with the service point and the serve for Westerly. One of the best volleys of the evening we've seen so far. And a nice serve to the back corner. And the bump is going to put it into no man's land, and that's going to be an ace for Westerly. The score, Westerly 14, Central 10. Number 24 still at the serve. 1-3-2 defense, Central's showing at the moment. And the serve, that's a laser, that's inbounds. Having a tough time handling it, gonna have to get it over and unable to do so. And that is an ace for Westerly. The score 15-10. And number 24 goes again for the Bulldogs. That's a beauty. That serve is a laser, but it's handled. Great job by Central to return that one. And that's a good job by the Central defense and offense for the point. And the serve, score 15-11. That was one of the more difficult serves to handle, and they did a great job of doing so on the Central side of things. And Central steps back, number 19, with the right-handed bump serve. And that's high, and it is going to clear the net. It's a difficult spot. And we're right at the net, and Central gets the point. And a little excited here. The score 15-12. Anybody's game. And that's the idea of the bump serve. You want it to get as close to without touching the net as you can on the opponent's side. They're doing a good job of it right now. And Westerly is unable to get it back over in the score 15-13. And number 19 looking for 3 in a row. 3 blockers up front for the offense. And there's a bump out of the way for Westerly. We're going to need a save over the net, and we get one. Number 7 bumps to no man's land, and Westerly will kill the serve, take the point, and the score 16-13. And we have number 3 at the serve for Westerly. We have 3 up at the net on the defense for Central. And they're backing in. And that's a nice serve to the deep center, and the bump's out of bounds. That's another service ace by number 3, score 17-13, correction, Bulldogs. And number 3 with another serve. And again, it's in play. And there's a set, and we have to get it over. The Central does. Westerly has a tough time near the net, unable to return it. That's a Central point and an all-important service kill with how efficient number 3 has been. That's a big stop by Central. The score, Central 14, the Bulldogs 17. Number 3 serving for Central. Instructing our offense a little bit. We have an overhand serve, and it is not going to make it. And the score is 18-14, Bulldogs. The Bulldogs will take over the serve. Final instructions from the coach, waiting for the horn. With a couple substitutions on the Bulldogs' end. We got 3 players up at the net. And a lefty on the serve. It's going to fall short, and that's going to be a Central point. 18-15, Bulldogs maintain a 3-point lead. Central's number 24 attempting to cut into that with the serve here. 18-15 lead. And we have a right-handed bump serve. That's going to be near the net, and that's going to be a good serve. Tough to handle. Wesley sets it up. Not able to get it back over and bounds. And the score, 18-16, Westerly. Number 24, Central with the serve. Three, two, one on Westerly. Similar setup by Central. The serve. Towards the middle of the defense, and it's bumped over and returned out with a carry. I believe it's going to be a Westerly point, and serve 19-16 Westerly. Games to 25, win by 2. 19-16. And Westerly, typical overhand serve. Tough first handle, tough second handle. I don't think they're going to get it over, and they don't. That's going to be a Westerly point, 20-16. And number 26 sets up for another. 20 for the Bulldogs, 16 for Central. The serve, Wesley serve right in the middle of the defense. We have a good set, number 7. Unfortunately puts it where the players aren't. It's going to be a Bulldog point, 21-16 Westerly. And we have a substitution for Central. And number 26 getting set to serve. And there's our whistle. The overhand right, nice serve, unable to be handled. That's an ace, 22-16. That was a laser between 2 players. Westerly has displayed very good skills in serving thus far today. And we'll set up again. The serve. Falls in play, that's key number 1, return immediately. And that's not going to work. Sets up to a 7, and that's going to be a Bulldog point, 24-16. Central unable to handle the serve. Number 26 looking for another. The Bulldogs only 2 points from a second victory. And the serve just over, and it's unable to be handled by Central. And it's point, Bulldogs 16 for Central. Number 26 trying to serve this one away. And the whistle, the serve, in play, the bump, 2-0. That's going to be a 25th game winning point for the Bulldogs. The final 25-16. Bulldogs winners of match 1 and 2 this evening. We have a short break between games as they make final adjustments and roster changes. So the Bulldogs come out firing from all cylinders, especially the service point area, where most of their points today have been from their service. And don't forget, we have a varsity matchup immediately following this junior varsity matchup tonight. And the captains are getting some instruction from the official at the moment, unsure as to what it is in regards to. Probably a little preventative coaching, so they'll continue to make an error of some semblance. And the referee has climbed her chair. And Central about to get together and take the court. The Bulldogs still in their huddle. And Central takes the court. Thus far tonight, we've seen the benefits of the overhand serve versus the underhand serve. And Westerly gets together. And takes the court. This is match 3 of the night here at Federico Gymnasium, folks. Westerly has won the first 2 matches of the evening. Central will start the serve in the 3rd match here. And we are ready to go. Number 19 with the serve. The right-handed bump serve is going to go out of bounds. It's going to give Westerly the first point. And the serve. And the serve goes to number 2 for Westerly. Little defensive adjustments by Central here. Number 2 not going to make it, and that's a 1-1 tie, and the serve goes back to Central. The front half of both of the first 2 games were actually close when Wesley's service became better and sort of ran off it towards the end of each match. Number 3 with the serve, overhand. Nice serve, nice bump, nice set. Nobody there, and that is going to be a score for the Central to make the score 2-1. And I do believe this is the only overhand serve for Central. And the serve, and the bump into no man's land. Unable to handle. That's another ace, 3-1. Central leads the Bulldogs. Ball returned to number 3. The whistle and the serve. Is not going to make it, and that makes the score 3-2. The serve short of the net. Bulldogs take over. And it's going to be number 7 for the Bulldogs to serve. Central receiving some defensive positioning. The serve overhand should fall short off the side of the hand. That's going to be 4 for Central, 2 for the Bulldogs. Number 24 with the serve for Central. And the serve. Little final instruction from the official on the floor here. And now the serve. And that's going to be short of the net. And the point's going to go to the Bulldogs. And the serve's going to go over to the Bulldogs. And it looks like number 24 is going to take over the serve. Trailing by 1. Central's played much better defense in the early end of this match. And the serve, a beauty. Handled by number 7. And unable to get it over the net is Central, tying the game at 4-4. Number 24 looking for one more here. And the serve. It's a hard serve to handle. It's bumped to no man's land for Central. And the score, Bulldogs 5, Central 4. Bulldogs' first lead of this match. Number 24 set to serve. Front spin, and that is going to go out of bounds. That's an ace, folks. 6-4 Bulldogs. Again, their greatest attack thus far tonight has been their serve. So the Bulldogs with 6 and the serve, and Central with 4. Central wanting 1 defender at the net, 3 and 2 deep. The serve is going to be deep, and it is unhandleable, and another point for the Bulldogs, 7-4, with an ace for number 24, who retains the serve. Central struggling with the first contact after serve. And 24 reaches back to the middle of the defense. 24 unable to handle it, and that's an ace. The score, Bulldogs 8, Central 4. 24 maintains the serve. And the whistle. The serve deep into the territory and unable to be handled. Great spot. Excellent serve. It's been the case all night for the Bulldogs as they lead 9-4 over Central. And they can accrue a lead pretty quickly this way, so Central has to be careful. Serve short off the shoulder of a player into the net, and that's an ace. 10-4 Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are starting to feel a little momentum again here. And the serve, that's going to be deep. It's going to be safe. Number 4 hits it for Central. That would have been near the line, but it's an ace, and the score 11-4. And we have a minute timeout on the floor. Central coach focusing on how to first hit after serve. Telling his players they don't need to bump it every time. Needing to keep it in play is the key, really. As Westerly's serves are, for the most part, all inbounds, in play, which is the key. That is the only way to score. Number 24 reaches back. The serve, just over the net, into no man's land for an ace. The score 12, Central 4. And out of a timeout, you can't do much better than that. Number 24 retains the serve. And it's in deep. Number 3 hits it. Unfortunately, nobody in the area. And that is going to be another Bulldog point. And number 24 is going to retain the serve. It's 13-4 Bulldogs. And that's a deep line. Number 3 gets it up. Number 18 with a chance, and they do return it. Bump for the Bulldogs. And a setback. Number 24 with the return. Number 18 sets up number 7. Going to have to get it over. Does to the deep line. Bumped. Another bump save. Going to have to get it over. Number 5 is unable to do so. That was a great volley, folks. And a point for Central. As far as volleys go, Central hasn't been that far off of the Bulldogs. It's just the initial strike from the serve. That was a great volley by both teams, and Central taking over and taking the point. And it looks like we're going to have a substitution here. Number 19 in for number 4. And number 18 on the serve for Central. And it's a nice serve. Backline bump, we have a set, not going to be able to be brought up, and that's going to be a score for Central, 13-6. Number 18 retains the serve. The serve, Westerly bump. And the second one puts it out of reach, and that's going to be a Central point, 13-7, with the Bulldogs lead and Central serve. 2 straight points for number 18, looking for 3. Good serve to the deep line. Good bump by Westerly. Good bump set. And goes to the opposite hand. Doesn't get over the net. And the score 13-8. Westerly unable to return. And 18 looking for another. To the deep part of the zone. And bumped deep. And unable to be saved. Another point for Central. The score 13-9. Motivation beginning to swing. Deep. Bump too close to the net. Unable to be brought over. 13-10. Momentum is shifting, folks. Number 18 looking for her 5th straight point here. And again, inbounds. Tough bump. And Wesley is able to get it over. Number 7 with a nice job. And Wesley returns. Miscommunication on the side of Central gives Wesley the point, and more importantly, kills number 18 serve and takes it over. And it's going to be number 7 with the serve for Westerly. And the serve is not well handled by Central. The score 15-10 Bulldogs. And Westerly sets to serve, leading by 5. And that serve is going to fall short. 15-11, Central serve. And number 7 for Central set up to serve. All those bodies. You don't want to drop it down the middle. Arm save, bump, gonna have to get it over, and able to do so. Number 7 with a back bump, number 24 gonna have to get it over. Central unable to get it over on the third hit. The point goes to the Bulldogs, 16-11. And the Bulldogs serve, number 17 set to serve for the Bulldogs. And the whistle, and here we go. The overhand serve. And it falls short for a Central point. The score is 16-12. And we're trying to figure out who's serving for Central here. There's going to be a substitution. And that's number 9 coming in for number 18. Number 16, correct. And directly into the service position. Number 9 will be serving for Central. Bulldogs 16, Central 12. And that's not going to make it, folks. That's going to be a Bulldog point and serve, 17-12. Number 5 for the Bulldogs, set to serve. Still anybody's game. 5 points can go very quickly here. And the serve, forward spin. Set up by Central very well, and they're able to get it over. Nice dig. And Westerly going to have to get it over and it falls in bounds. Good volley, great offense by the Bulldogs. Starting with the dig, turns into a nice open spot landing and an 18-12 lead. Number 5 is ready to go. And that's going off the side of her hand, so it's 18-13. Central's lead. And Central number 18 set to serve. And the serve to the middle of the defense. Bump, set, over and out of bounds for the Bulldogs. And that is going to be a point Central. 18-14 the score. And the serve, deep middle, bumped, and dumped over into no man's land. Good job by the Bulldog defense to get the point and to turn over the serve. And the score 19 for the Bulldogs, 14 for Central. I do believe it'll be number 2 serving for the Bulldogs. That's correct, number 2. In striking distance. Gets set. Didn't like the first. And it was worth the delay as she puts down an ace, 20-14. Good decision by number 2 as she retains the serve. And this is going to fall short, 20-15, and the serve goes over to Central. Still anybody's game here. We're going to have a substitution. And number 3 is going to be set to serve for Central. 20-15 the score. Bulldogs with 20, Central with 15. Here at Westerly Women's JV Volleyball. And the serve is going to be short for a Bulldog point, 21-15. And the Bulldogs will take over serve to number 24, who has had a good night herself serving already. And that's not going to go to her. We have a new rotation. It's going to go to number 7. And the Bulldog set up. And the Bulldogs are ready The score 21-15. The serve. Short. Looks like she's a little out of whack on the approach. The score 21-16. Central's serve. Number 24 for Central with the serve. And a substitution. Number 8 out. Number 18 in. 3 players at the net, and that is not going to make the net. Bulldogs are going to take the point and the serve. 22-16. Central kind of needed a couple there with Westerly right in striking range for the third match here. Score 22-16. Number 24 with the serve. And it's a beauty, a knuckleball. It is left up, but hard to handle. Gonna have to get it over, unable to do so. Very difficult return with a floater, no spin. The score 23-16 Bulldogs. Knuckleball's tough at any sport to get a square hit on. And the serve by number 24. Over the net with some speed behind it. The bump goes back in, out of reach. Unable to handle that as an ace makes it point 16 Bulldogs. 24-16 Bulldogs. Number 24 with the serve. And it's a laser, and it's an ace. What better way to finish than a service ace? 25-16 as the Westerly Bulldog Women JV win the first 3 matchups of the evening. Displaying their serving abilities throughout all 3. Teams get a little breather here between games. When it's come down to volleys, Central hasn't been far behind at all. They've displayed the ability to go back and forth. It's just a matter of responding to the serve. That's been the difficulty. Wesley's serving, overhand style of serving has proven more reliable this evening, to say the least. And the varsity team's about to hit the locker room to get themselves ready for the next game, I believe.